if you are just joining me. And tonight is all about the Potions and Spells bundle. Now you can find this bundle in the online store. It launched last month, which was July, and I'm really excited to share it with you this evening. Here are 2 fun cards that Stampin' Up! Has created using the bundle, and it's just a lot of fun to play with, so I hope you will enjoy it. We are going to look now at the stamp set, and here we've got 3 different greetings, and we have a cauldron, bubbles, extra bubbles, a black bird, some books, and a cat. And then these little starry things, that could kind of be like the magic spell, you know, within the bubbles. So I am going to be showing you the dies and what they can do. So let's do that. Here it is right here. And again, you're going to notice there's the stamped cauldron. And these are the handles that go behind the cauldron, which we are going to use it tonight, by the way. We will be using the handles tonight, so I'll show you how they work. Then we have the brew, which can go right across the cauldron and drip down. And we have the bird, and by the way, he's like super cute. Let me zoom in on him. He has so much cute little detail. Here are books. And you get 2 potion bottles, and even you can cut out these small shaded areas, or these small areas. That's the potion. So I guess I should say small potion is what you can cut out. And here's the potion pouring out of the bottle. It will work with either bottle. We've got a broom handle as well as the bottom, the brush part. Here's a cat, and here are the bubbles. So there are lots of different bubbles that you can cut out, and I'll show you. You can actually cut out 4 bubbles at one time, and then look at this. Here are 2 more bubbles right here. So there we go. There's the Potions and Spells dies for you. Kisha says, I made a horseshoe game card with the handles and the broomstick. It's such a fun set. Oh, that's really cool, Kisha. I have no idea how you did that, but it actually sounds really, really cool. So anyway, are y'all ready to get started? We can do a little creating together. All right, so this is going to be our first card this evening. Corinne says, oh, this is important. Corinne says, this die cut that you use for pouring out can be the stir stick for the cauldron. Oh my gosh, you're right. How awesome. I didn't even see that or even think about that. That is so awesome. All right, here I am supposed to be showing y'all things, and thank you so much for sharing. It really helps me when I create that very next card. So here we go. Let's do some magic. Okay, I like it, Donna. Let's do some magic. All right, here we go. Well, the first thing, let's talk about this embossing folder. All right, now I thought I brought it over here. I did. This is one of those large embossing folders. It is called Dotted Circles, and it is item number 163789. This yellow dot tells me that it's a 3D folder. That's just kind of how I color code things. Again, it's a very large folder, which is great for scrapbooking and great for slim line cards. So this layer that we're going to be putting on the card tonight is measuring 4 1/4 inches. Right here, 4 1/4 inches. I think it probably shrunk a little bit once I put it in the folder. and 5.5 inches. So 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. All right. So I want to show you how I emboss this. I inserted the piece of paper, and what I tried to do was center this circle here in the very center of this cardstock layer. And then I've got this showing, and then this. And so when we get to the outer edges, you're going to notice that some of the bubbles are off the paper and some of the bubbles are off the paper up here. So if you were to really look at this, you are going to notice that I tried to center this pattern in the center of the cardstock layer, okay? That is what I wanted to do. And we're actually going to be embossing again, and I'm going to be able to do this one with you. So if we go back and we look at the card, we're going to also emboss this lemon lime twist layer. So let's get the measurements on it. This is lemon lime twist, and it is going to measure 3 1/4 inches going across by 4 inches. Okay. And then again, I really want to center this. Now, I've noticed there is a bit of a mark right here, and I don't know that I can get that off. Let me see. If not, I'm going to flip the paper over. I am actually going to flip my paper over so that I don't have that mark. And then here I am again. I'm going to try and center this. I hope you all find this helpful when you go to use this embossing folder, okay? And by the way, this embossing folder is either in low inventory or it's unavailable. I can't remember what I saw now, but I'm sure some of you already know and can tell me. All right, as I zoom out, we are going to bring in my machine here, and we're gonna open it up just like this. Your sandwich is going to be platform number 1 and platform 4, okay? We are going to lay the embossing folder right on the platform. Do you see this folded edge? Always roll that through first, okay? And then we're gonna do number 4, and then we're gonna roll it through. And this is where you can kind of hang on to the handle of your machine. I'm gonna tell you, it goes through so easily and so beautifully. Now we're gonna take this off, and look what we've got. What do you think? So that's how you use the embossing folder, and that is the appropriate sandwich. Okay. So now I can come on back in, zoom in for you, and we are going to start assembling our card. This is a pumpkin pie card base, and so it's 5.5 by 8.5 inches, and this is the 8.5 inch side. We scored in the middle, which is 4 1/4. So yes, Donna, great question. It is pumpkin pie. Now, I always, especially with the 3D folders, they're so thick that I like to just do one layer and then tape that right on top of the card base, okay? It can be very difficult to insert the front of this card base, wrap it around the embossing folder, and then roll it through. And so I found this to be the easiest thing, and I hope that makes sense. I'm actually going to use some Tombow glue on this because it's going to make it real easy for me to line this up and straighten it up. All right. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to add it to our base. Okay. All right, so there we go. The base is done. And oh, but you know what I forgot to do? And hang on, it shouldn't, if it's too late, we won't even put a bow on here, but I'm really gonna try to put the bow on here. I forgot my ribbon. Let me show you the card. Let me see if I can lift this up. Has this ever happened to y'all? Hang on. If we can't do it, then we're not gonna worry about it. I don't think we'll worry about it. I think I'm gonna cause a really big mess. I wanted to wrap the ribbon around this cardstock layer and then tie it in a knot. That's what I really wanted. But maybe what I'll do is, I'll do something else. Maybe we'll tie a bow or something. But I love putting that ribbon in there. I think it makes it really fun. But we're gonna alternate it. We're gonna change it up, okay? All right, we're gonna need some basic black, which is right here, all right? And so this is measuring. Now this is gonna be your crazy measurement. Do you see that 3 1/4? Let me get my little pokey tool out. Okay. Do you see 3 1/4 right there? This is actually right here. So this is where I cut the cardstock. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5/16 of an inch. Sorry. I know it's a crazy one. And then 4 1/4 inches. Okay? No, excuse me. It's 4 1/8 of an inch. Excuse me, 4 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And we're actually going to be adding this right here. And again, I could certainly use Tombow liquid glue, and I can also use Stampin' Seal. All right. All right. Just being crazy here. I know, I'm thinking about that, Mary Kay. I'm thinking about putting it on this piece, right? As I get it on here, that embossed piece. I think it might look really, really cute. All right. All right, so that part is done. Now, let's open a ribbon, all right? How many of y'all have this ribbon? I have seen it. I've seen a lot of Christmas projects already using this ribbon. And so grab an extra roll when you place your order, because I think it's going to be great for Christmas cards as well as our Halloween cards. So we're doing something a little different here. And you know what I'm almost thinking? Do I want a bow? I don't know. I don't think I want a bow there. All right. Let's see. And of course, you don't have to use the ribbon at all. Like if you don't have it, you don't have to use it. But I'm going to put it on this one this time and see how we like it. All right. And we're going to cut that in a second, but let's see how our cauldron looks. I think it might be super cute with their cauldron. All right. We're going to give it a try. Okay. And I'm going to lay it right on that edge. Okay. And Susan, I am with you. I love 1/8 of an inch borders. You just have to make sure that when you're cutting with your paper cutter, that you're really getting a straight line. All right, and then I will cut this on the diagonal like that. Okay, now we're going to be adding this right here to our card. So let's look at the original card and let's look at what we've done so far, okay? So I think it's gonna work. All righty, and again, we can use the liquid glue, we can use Stampin' Seal. This time I'll try Stampin' Seal. All right, and I'll even put some on that ribbon here and here. And then we're actually going to center this right in the middle of the card. Okay. And that's what we have. I know, the ribbon makes it pop, doesn't it? It really, really does. Now, our little cauldron, guess what? He's gonna fit on here. So I think we're gonna be just fine. Okay, let's do a bit of stamping. And we're going to use black Memento ink. We're gonna set this aside. We're gonna stamp some bubbles. And I need 2 sets of these bubbles, one for this card and one for the next card. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stamp 2, all right? All righty. Here we go. So I'm inking it up in black Memento ink because I'm going to be coloring, okay? Oops. And we'll stamp it about right here. And there are the bubbles. Now this paper's looking a little dirty, so I'm gonna use this other piece of paper. Again, we're gonna need these on both cards this evening. There is more bubbles, okay? And you're just stamping that on regular paper, okay? You're using black Memento ink and you're stamping it on the basic white. So if you look at the card, you're going to notice that I did cut around the bubbles. So that is what we're going to do. Mary Kay, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite ribbons as well. So as you all can see, I'm just doing a little fussy cutting, going around the design. We'll go ahead and cut that off. Oh, I love it. So Susan says, the way my grown kids talk about my cooking, they probably thought I used a cauldron. I love it. I love it. All right, we're gonna go around here. Now, I am gonna go back around again and try and fine tune this cutting that I'm doing. So just hang on here. All right, we'll get rid of that piece. And you can actually leave this at the bottom because we're gonna tuck it behind the cauldron. So let's go back over this again and get rid of some of that white space if we can. I'll try and hold this up to the camera so you can see what I am cutting. All right. We were talking about this in class last weekend. Some of us love fussy cutting and some of us don't. And I know when I have to fussy cut a lot of things, I will actually do it in front of the TV. And I also do coloring like that as well. All right, so let's see here. I'm gonna go way in here. All right, so that's kind of what I've done so far. And let's see if I can, there we go. And I think I might have it. So I'm gonna zoom in now and we're going to do some coloring. Now I have used Highland Heather, Lemon Lime Twist, and Pumpkin Pie as my colors, okay? And let's go ahead and we're gonna start with the darker Highland Heather. And you're not gonna see this bottom part of the bubble, okay? So I can even go to the very bottom if I want. It's not going to show. And what I'm doing now, I'm using the brush tip and I am just coloring in the purple ones. And I'm using the dark. You could definitely use the light Highland Heather and then shade in with some of the dark. And we'll do one more here. I'm pretty much just copying what it was on my card. Not really changing that too much. All right. I know, fussy cutting is fun, right? All right, so now let's use, we're gonna use some light pumpkin pie here. And I'm probably gonna come back in with the dark. Here's a fun little bubble. And I am just spacing out these colors. That's all I'm doing. All right, and we'll do that one in orange. And you can even color these little rhinestone diamond sort of things. I don't know what to call those. I'm gonna go back with the dark paper pumpkin. And you know what? I might have to color this one orange now because I did the outline of the wrong one. But it won't matter. Let's darken that bubble up. And we'll darken this bubble. And we can even darken that bubble. Now we're going to bring in the dark lemon lime twist, excuse me. Almost said that wrong. It is a lemon lime twist. This is the dark, by the way. And this is just basic coloring. And we'll color over here. And I'm using dark on the whole thing here. And let's see, we'll make this one lemon lime as well. Did I get them all? I think I did. I'm just gonna blend this in. You're not even gonna see this at all, but, and I'm just gonna color that like that. Okay, so those are the colors that I used, and I am actually gonna do a little more trimming here. Okay, and I'm gonna take that cauldron. Now this is, I used the die and cut out this cauldron here, and it's basic black cardstock. So I am just going to run some glue right across the cauldron. That is the back of the cauldron. And now I am going to add the bubbles, okay? So there go the bubbles. It makes it really fun, doesn't it? Kind of fun and colorful. I'm gonna go back over here and do some highlighting. Okay. Now it's when you can add a little bit of character to your bubbles. Now for the front, we are going to, let me move these markers here. For the front, we're going to be adding some gorgeous grape, and some of that brew can spill over to the outside of the cauldron. I am just adding just a few little dots of Tombow liquid glue. All right. And we'll add that about right there. Okay. And I think we're ready to add it to our card. Let me zoom out a little bit. We will attach this to the card, and then we're going to add some potion bottles. I'll put a little dimensional there. This is still drying. Of course, if you were making this at home, you could wait a little bit longer for it to dry. You are kidding. Corinne says the haunted house is sold out. You are kidding me. It was literally in my cart this afternoon. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. Wow, I can believe it actually. I can. Unbelievable. Gosh. It's a good one. I'm glad I at least have one. All right. I'm just peeling the paper off now. And I am going to add this probably about right here. So Lori says this is the best Halloween bundle I've ever seen, and I'm so glad I bought it. Boots of fun and so many fun ideas and ways to use the dies. Lori, you are so correct. It really is a great one, isn't it? It is awesome. All right, so we've got potion bottles, okay? So we're going to be adding the potion inside of the bottle, okay? All right. And, oh, what did I just do? Hang on. Oh, no. Here it is. Whew. I lost it for a second. All right, so what I'm going to do on this potion bottle is I'm just going to add a little glue, okay? I found it easiest to do this way, and then add the potion. You can put the glue on the back of the potion, but then it's hard to, you know, lay it on the bottle. I'm gonna do the same for this one. Just kind of guessing where I think the black potion's gonna go. All right, we'll give those just a second to dry. While that's drying, I'm actually going to be stamping, and we're gonna do a little hocus pocus, which is part of the set. It's got some great verses. And by the way, this banner is from Stylish Shapes. I'm gonna get that hocus pocus as far over as I can on the banner. By the way, I didn't tell you all this, but I'm giving these cards away tonight, okay? We haven't had a giveaway in a really long time, so I am looking forward to this. All right, so that's where we're gonna be cutting it. All right, because we're gonna get that on there. We're gonna pop it up, okay? Hello, Margot. I am glad you caught me as well. Glad you're here. All right, so we're gonna pop up our verse. And we're gonna add it, I'm gonna add it a little bit higher because I don't want it to interfere with the bubbles, okay? All right. Now, we're not done, but let's go on and take our Wink of Stella. That'll give our potion bottles a little more time to dry. And we're going to use the Wink of Stella on our bubbles. So we'll make those super fun. This is so easy to do, and it doesn't take very long. And I think there's a die for everything except this cluster of bubbles. You could also add Wink of Stella to the brew that is spilling over. Okay, so there's our little Wink of Stella. I think you can see it. This looks a little crooked, so let me fix this. I didn't notice that until I picked it up. Okay. Let's add our potion, all right? And we're gonna use, we are gonna use glue with this. And I want it about right here, so I'm thinking my glue needs to be there. And we'll stick it right there, okay? And then this bottle is going to kind of layer on top. So you kind of have to figure out about where you need glue. And I think that is going to work. We'll give that just a few minutes to dry. And we're going to add a couple of bubbles. What do you think? Should we add some bubbles? We could put one here if we want. Whoops. Well, these bubbles are very tricky. They want to stick to me. And we could put one there. And you can do any size bubble that you want. I'm going to do a bigger bubble there because that's what I have cut. And then I'll do one about there. What do you think? Think that's a great place for bubbles? All right. We're going to use our Tombow liquid glue. By the way, you could also use, just thought of this, you could use a glue dot. So I've got one bubble right over the bottles. And then we'll put one here. And one there. And there's a little bit of glue seeping through, but it will dry. And that is our card. What do you think? What do you think? Isn't that fun? So for those ladies in my hostess class last weekend, we did play with this set and we made a darling little cauldron box. But here are our cards, and you know what? There is so little difference between here and here that it just works beautifully either way. So super fun little card. We're going to give it away this evening. So that's going to be fun. We're still going to make another card, so don't think I'm leaving yet. All right, I'll put a Post-it note behind this, and that will remind me to give this away. The Post-it note is the same color as my lemon lime twist. All right, so a little hocus pocus. I just love it. It's so fun. All right, second card, all right, is right here, okay? And you're going to notice on this card that we're actually going to be doing some embossing tonight, okay? Again, you are going to notice that I've used that very same embossing folder. And I'm trying to remember the name of it, y'all. Dotted Circles, I believe was the name. I believe I'm correct in the name. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's do our heat embossing for our cauldron, okay? All right, so let's see. I am going to actually use my embossing buddy, okay? I always forget to use my embossing buddy. Thank you, Mary Kay. I'm glad you like the card. So I always forget to use this little guy. I'm going to use it tonight. This really cuts down on the static electricity and just so that embossing powder will not stick in the incorrect places. So anyway, yes, the embossing folder is so versatile, Susan. You are so right. All right, so let's get our brew. We're going to put that on first, okay? Because that is going to help us decide where to stamp on the cauldron. So again, this is Lemon Lime Twist. This is Basic Black. And I'm going to do the very same thing that I did last time. And that's just to add a little bit of Tombow liquid glue there for the brew. And it's a great reminder, Mary Kay, about the embossing buddy, but you very well know that I forget it a lot. I do forget about it, but it is very helpful when I can remember it. All right, we'll give that a few seconds, okay? All right, well, I lost the end. And here it is, right here. It was stuck inside of my little caddy, my little holder. All right. All righty. Let's give that just a second. Then we're going to do some embossing. I'm actually going to be bringing in my mat. Ah, look what I did. It's okay. It's telling me we need a few more minutes to dry. Don't be in a hurry. All right, but we're definitely going to use the Stampin' mat with it, okay? It'll give us some cushioning because we are using a photopolymer stamp. We are going to need Versamark, and we're going to need white powder or white Stampin' and emboss powder. And this is always helpful to have a brush and the tray. Now we do sell the tray, the brush, the embossing buddy, and Versamark, embossing powder. We sell all of that in our annual catalog, okay? All right, and of course, we have our heat tool. And hang on one second. The heat tool is wrapped around my lamp. There we go. Okay. Let's continue to let that dry. I'm going to warm up my heat tool. Just give it a few minutes to warm up. Oh yes, the tweezers. Absolutely. What did I do with my tweezers? They're supposed to be with my tray. All right. Let me grab my tweezers. Well, my tweezers are not on my island over there, so I don't know what I've done with them. But tweezers are so helpful. I'll use these tweezers. Gail, who is watching, made this for me. It's got my name hanging to it, and this is a pair of tweezers, so I'll use those. But we have some really nice tweezers. They're so nice, I don't know where I put them. Okay. So let's get started. We're going to ink this with Versamark, okay? And this is what the Versamark pad looks like. It's clear. And then I am going to press firmly and look right through that block so that I can see my placement. I'm going to give it some even pressure. I'm going to pick it up with tweezers. I'm going to cover up my Versamark pad so that I don't get powder on it. And then I'm going to pour the powder on top of those letters, okay? And I'm going to shake. And it looks like I'm going to have to do a little brushing. Even though I use the embossing buddy, it needs more brushing. All right, let me see if I can, trying to get that letter E. Oh, good. It looks like this cauldron may get a little messy. I'm also going to shake it like this. Okay, and I brushed off the letter T. I don't want to do that. There we go. All right. So we need those tweezers to hang on to this so we don't burn our fingers. And now we're going to use the heat tool. To emboss this. Do a little baking here. My cauldron is looking a bit messy, but even after after using the embossing tool, I really got some powder on here that I wish wasn't here, but you know what? It is a cauldron, and it is Halloween. So there you go. I don't know what I did with my tweezers. I absolutely love those tweezers, Susan. So they're in my stamp room. They're supposed to be in the tray, or they were supposed to be in the tray. I think we've got it. There is our double, double toil and trouble. And so that little part of the project is done, and we'll go back to our original card. And we're going to be bringing in a gorgeous grape card base. Yes, the witch did it, Diane, you're right. And then again, as you saw me demonstrate with the very first card, how to emboss this layer. So if you're just catching me, you can always hit the replay later and see how I position the paper in the embossing folder. I basically just centered it, so it's nothing nothing too technical. All right, and then this we're gonna lay on top of the card base. Let's make sure I have it lined up. Looks like I do. By the way, I'll also be giving away this card this evening. Well, guess what, ladies? I just found my beautiful tweezers that go with my embossing kit. They were in my tray. I just couldn't see them. So we do sell these, and they are in the annual book. Okay, I am using a retired Regal designer paper pack, okay? I do not have all the new ones yet, but I did have the ones that retired. So I'm using that because I really wanted some gorgeous grape designer paper. And I actually want to add it across here. And so I'm actually going to use the Tombow for this as well. Wow, I'm using a lot of this tonight. Yep, hiding in plain sight. That is so true. If it had been a snake, y'all know the saying, it would have bit me. All right, so I'm just laying the designer paper right across the top. By the way, this designer paper is going to be 4 1/4 inches. Okay, 4 1/4 inches. And the width is 1/2 of an inch, 1 1/2, 1 1/2. Okay, 1 1/2 inches. And then I'm gonna add some lemon lime twist. And of course that's going to be 4 1/4 inches. And it is going to be 1/2 inch in width, all right? Okay, and I think I'm gonna use Stampin' Seal on this. And we're just going to just kind of lay it across here. Okay, that's just part of our background. I'm going to be adding a pumpkin pie circle. Now this set of dies is Spotlight on Nature, okay, which I'm sure y'all are all very familiar with because I love it and use it a lot. And I'm sure you do as well. So we're just going to add some dimensionals to it. And we'll put that right in the center here. I just love that with the embossing part. I think it is so fun. These are probably my favorite dies. It's a staple. It's so much of a staple that I have 2 sets. Okay, I have 2 sets of those. All right, let's add some handles. See if I can find my handles. And you could add these with glue dots, which is actually, I'm pretty positive that's how I did it. It's so easy. So what I'll do is, thank you, Lori. I'm glad you liked the card. I'm just adding, I meant to add it on top. Let's add it on the top. It's gonna go on the top of the handle. Hang on a second. Let's start over, okay? All right. So I want the glue dot on the top of the handle, and I'm going to show you why in a second, just in case you're questioning my placement. You see those glue dots on the very top? It's hard to see. The camera won't focus on it. Then you're going to add that to the cauldron, and guess what? It will stick to the back of the cauldron. So that's why the glue dot's going to go on the front. Let's grab 2 more. When you cut out the handles, you can cut out 2 at one time, so that will save you. And here we go. Gonna place it about right there. Okay? Now we gotta add some more bubbles, don't we? We have more coloring to do and cutting out. So this time we are going to be cutting out. We won't be coloring as many bubbles. Okay, as you can see, I am getting rid of those. So if you look at the stamped image, here it is, and then I'm going to take away what we won't be coloring, okay? And now I'm just going to do a little fussing cutting, make this look a little bit better, get rid of the rough edges. All right, so tonight I will be giving away both of these cards, so I would love it if you comment so that your name can be in the drawing this evening, okay? All right, so let's look. This one's a little easier to cut out because I didn't include the tiny bubbles. And I'll zoom in as we do some coloring. All right, so again, the same 3 colors that I used on the first card. So we're looking at a little Highland Heather here. And again, you can keep the bottom here because that's going to go behind the cauldron. And let's stop there. Let's go to pumpkin pie. Oh, Lori, thank you for asking about the grandsons. They are great. And as a matter of fact, Lori, at the beginning of tonight's video, I did have some beach pictures of them, but they are doing extremely well. Thank you so much for asking. I tell you, they are such precious little gifts. Let's put a little dark in this paper pumpkin, right where those lines are. And let's add some lemon lime twist. And put it right there. And here, and here. And let's go, I am going to add a dark, yes, watch the replay, Lori, and then you can see the beach pictures of them. They're right in the very beginning. All right. All right. So that should take care of that. Again, you could add Stampin' Seal behind your cauldron. You can add the Tombow liquid glue behind your cauldron. And then we are going to add our bubbles right along here. Okay, and I want to lift this up. I don't want this to get stuck to my grid paper. So I'm going to lift that up. And we'll let that dry for just a few minutes. Okay? All right, let me get the markers out of the way here. We are almost done with our card. It's going to look like that in just a few minutes. Okay, in just a few minutes. We can definitely add, while it's drying, let's add, that dimensional is going to help those bubbles stay attached as well. Let's add those dimensionals. We can probably go ahead and take the paper off, and then we can add our cauldron right there. I'm going to take our little Wink of Stella right here and really put some glimmer on here. Is Peggy still in the house? Peggy is my Wink of Stella queen. She loves Wink of Stella. It goes on everything. Make it very, very sparkly. Okay, we're ready for the handle. Now, I used the adhesive sheets, and I cut a bunch of these broom handles, broomsticks, out of pecan pie. And so it's white on the back because that is where the adhesive is. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. We really don't need to peel the adhesive off the entire thing. So what I'm going to attempt to do, and it worked the first time I tried it. I am going to cut. Oh, that didn't work. Maybe we don't. Oh, yes, Peggy's watching. She's my Wink of Stella girl. All right, I'm going to lift that up. And I am going to guess, girls, that let's take off maybe this much of the adhesive sheet, okay? And then we are going to be adding it to the side of the cauldron, okay? So maybe about that much, and it will stick to the cauldron. That way you don't have to use the Tombow liquid glue. And then this, whoops, sorry, I'm shaking everything here. Let's go ahead and we're gonna add this to that, okay? And then I use that darling ribbon, and we're gonna use a glue dot. I just tied it in a knot. And we're gonna add it to the broom. About there, okay. And now we're going to trim right there. And it's got to be pretty short, by the way. And right there, okay. And that makes our air card. What do you think? All right. Ooh, so the broom handle is pecan pie, and the below is crushed curry. Okay, crushed curry. So that's a great question, Donna, because I had forgotten to tell y'all that. So crushed curry and pecan pie. If you don't have pecan pie, use copper clay. Also, for the bottom here of the broom, you could use Daffodil Delight, okay, if you don't have crushed curry. So there are other options. And if you want, you can even put a dimensional, which I think I will. I think I did that on the first one. I am going to, the broom is kind of sticking up, so I'm going to take 2 dimensionals and I'm going to stack them. Peel that paper off, and I'm going to stick it to the bottom, and now your broom will not fly away. How about that? Get it? It won't fly away. So what do you think? They're pretty fun to create. They really and truly are. And I am going to refresh my page here, and let's give these away tonight. What do you think? Should we do that? I think we ought to give it a try. All righty. It'll take me just a few minutes to grab names. Okay. Yes, let those comments come in, ladies, so you can win one of these cards tonight, okay? I'm glad y'all like the cards. Thank you very much. All right. All right, I think I'm about ready. I'm going to grab comments. See if they come up. Yep, I've got comments. Okay, here we go. Peggy, I am loving your comment. Peggy says, I'm so glad you're using the broom. I made a note to get mine out and clean her up. My neighbor catches me every once in a while taking her for rides starting next month. This is great. Peggy, you just made my night. That is so awesome. All right, girls, here we go. We've got comments, and we are rolling through here. Who is it? Mary Kay. Mary Kay Paulette. You just won tonight's first card. Mary Kay, you have not won in a very long time, so I'm very, very excited for you. So congrats, Mary Kay. You are about to get some happy mail, okay? I'll probably put it in the mail to you on Thursday. It won't be tomorrow because I'm leaving early in the morning, okay? So congrats. That is so awesome. All right, who's getting the broom card? Peggy might need it. Peggy might need it. So if we scoot on over, you'll see Mary Kay's name right here. Okay? All right, let's pick another winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Let's see who it is. Ethel Mills. That is my Aunt Ethel. Oh my gosh. Congrats, Aunt Ethel. You just won my Halloween card. How awesome is that? All right. Oops. I'd already pulled that off. So that is for Aunt Ethel. I'm going to see her this weekend, so I'll give her that one. Anybody have any questions? We will be creating cards next week with this same bundle, okay? Same bundle next Tuesday night. And just a reminder, next Tuesday, August 20th at 2 p.m., I'm going to be going over product shares. And And then I'll be with you Facebook Live in the Hive next Tuesday night, August 20th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay? So now I have Happy Mail for Mary Kay and Aunt Ethel. Thank you so much, and I will see you next Tuesday night, okay? Have a great week, everyone, and I thank you so much for being here. Talk to you soon. Bye.